For the 57th year, nearly 600 passionate amateur racers have gathered to select their national champions under a unique format. One race, winner take all. And for the first time in 7 years, their stage is America's National Park of Speed, Road America. Welcome to the Sports Car Club of America Runoffs, our broadcast presented by Mazda. Shadows are growing long in the late afternoon on Hagerty Race Day number 2 at the 57th running of the Sports Car Club of America National Championship Runoffs. We are ready for the open-wheel class Formula Continental. Hello, everybody. I'm Bob Varsha. As you can see, we have fans behind the fences enjoying a beautiful fall afternoon here at one of the great racetracks in all the world. In a moment, the cars will be on track. Before they start, let's get down to the pit lane and hear from Hayward Wagner.
Hey guys, we're down on the grid for Formula Continental. This is a small but mighty field of Formula cars, all running 2-liter engines, a little bit of aero, and open tires. That means that some cars on the grid are running an Avon, others are running Hoosiers. So we'll see some cars make speed at different times as tires heat and cool throughout the race. Your pole sitter, Rob Allier, I was just chatting with him about some of the races we had earlier in the weekend. About some of the races we had earlier in the week, talking about what he might have learned from watching the dog fights, watching the street fights as they went. His comment to me was, I'd be really happy if this was a boring race. So that's what your pole sitter wants. We'll see what everybody else gets.
All right, thanks very much, Hayward. Tom McLeod joins me for, Larry McLeod, excuse me, sorry. Larry joins me for this race. These cars on a track like this one, we've talked about it all weekend long. Road America, very tough. For cars like these, small 2-liter engines, it's going to be a lot of full throttle. Nice sense of humor being displayed up and down the field, but things can go wrong very quickly when you're running as hard as they're going to have to in this race.
Yeah, these cars are going to be, you come here on the weekend, you start doing your testing, and you start taking a little wing out, a little more wing out, a little more wing out, because you're trying to get that top speed down these straightaways. And from what I'm hearing is people are looking at that front car, that Rob Aller on the pole, as having that trap speed, and they're going to want to try and keep up with him, because if they can't, he can start inching away out here. He's shown his speed in qualifying. Everyone else is going to be looking to see if they can keep up with him as this race unfolds.
Half a second quicker than the next car. See the signal to fire engines. And they begin to pull on track. Robert Aller from Grosse Pointe Woods, Michigan, is our tire rack pole sitter. And he brings the field out for their pace lap. And as he does, let's take a look at the total lineup for the race. Robert Aller on pole. Next to him will be Robert Armington from State Line, Nevada. Both of them in Van Diemen machines, an RF02 for Aller and RF00 for Armington. On row 2, Brandon Dixon from Tuscaloosa, Alabama in a Citation US 2000. Next to him, Simon Sykes from Martinez, Georgia in a Citation US 2000. More on those drivers as we go forward. On row 3, Michael Varisons from Burlington, Wisconsin in a Van Diemen F2000, and Brian Tomasi from Elgin, Illinois in a Van Diemen RF06. On row 4, Mauro Fauza from Manalapan, New Jersey in a Van Diemen RF03. Next to the Van Diemen RF99, you sense a trend here, for John Norton from Phoenix, Arizona. Row 5, Paul Marino, Chatsworth, California in a Van Diemen RF06. And Matthew McDonough from West Newbury, Massachusetts in a Radon RN10 F2000. On row 6, Kevin Fandazzi from St. Joseph, Michigan in a Mygale SJ 2012H. Next to Jeffrey Pietz of Fresno, California in a Van Diemen DP08. And alone on the 7th and final row, Lynn Greenhill from Rockland, California in a Van Diemen RF02. Now, as with every other class, there were certain awards for qualifying performance on days 1, 2, and 3 of qualifying. Day 1 was the Sunoco 260 day with 10 free gallons of gasoline available to the driver whose final time at the end of day 1 ended with numbers to the right of the decimal point that most closely approximated 2 6-0. And that was Michael Verisons, who picks up the 10 gallons of gas. He's starting in the number 5 spot. Right next to him in 6th is Brian Tomasi, who won the Hawk Breakthrough Award from Hawk Brakes on day 2 with the biggest improvement from his day 1 to day 2 performance. And it wasn't much. He went from a 2:15.882 to a 2:15.479 and picked up that award. We've already talked about our tire rack pole sitter, Robert Aller. There are 2 drivers in the field who are in a position to win the greatest award you can in on-track action in Sports Car Club of America competition. It's called the Super Sweep, and it calls on a driver to win the Hoosier Super Tour Points Championship in their respective area of the country. Also win the U.S. Majors Tour Conference Championship, and perhaps the hardest of all, win your class here in the winner-take-all format of the Runoffs. Robert Armington, starting 2nd today, is in a position to win, and that's what he must do to claim the Super Sweep. Rob Aller must win plus see Armington finish no higher than 7th in order to claim the championship that he needs in addition to winning the race in order to take the Super Sweep. I hope that's not too complicated. They'll be gunning for it, and they will be battling each other directly. So the cars make their way through the kink and into the sunshine as the sun grows ever lower here, with one more race to follow this one here on Hagerty Racing Day 2. Our broadcast is brought to you by Mazda. Our thanks to them. It's been a great weekend thus far. We're only into the second half of 26 classes of championship finals. And we hope you'll be with us all the way to the conclusion on Sunday afternoon. With that, what are you looking forward to?
Sunshine. You talked about that sunshine. It is starting to go low over those western skies, and where that's going to peak up is going through turn 1 down that first hill, but really poorly for them is going to be out of turn 5 up that hill toward the Corvette Bridge. I talked to Robert Armington. He said it is completely blind. It's muscle memory into turn 6 for them on this first lap through this field of cars. That could be interesting.
Well, the Corvette safety cars indicating we are ready for the green flag. The field already formed up. Keep in mind, these are open-wheeled race cars. You cannot lean on each other and expect anything short of a catastrophe when rubber meets rubber. Off goes the safety car. Tightly compact field. Aller and Armington across the front row. Lots of Van Diemen chassis out there. One of the great names in open-wheeled car construction. Company named for the island of Tasmania, once known as Van Diemen's Land. Whose land will it be here at Road America as we have a 4-way tussle going down into turn 1. Cars going off track. Behind them, trying to jockey for position. Looks like Armington around the outside into turn 1 with authority.
It looks like Sykes is going to follow right in behind them. He's the aggressor there. At number 13. He's the young one. We saw him this morning running in that Formula F race, and he's going to be early on, putting the pressure on these veterans. Aller and Armington are a little bit elder to Sykes. Sykes just a 20-year-old young man, and he's showing early on that youth is definitely going to show the aggression here in the afternoon. Maybe it's a little late in the day. These older guys are a little bit tired from this long week. Sykes is not. He's energetic. Look at him go.
Watch that Formula F race. You heard my colleague Ryan Levine describe Sykes and his most recent accomplishment, which was selection for the Team USA Scholarship Program run. This is its 30th anniversary, founded and run each year by journalist and broadcaster Jeremy Shaw, a good friend of all of us here at the booth. Congratulations to Jeremy on a spectacular program. Bryce Aaron and Jackson Lee are the other 2 young drivers who, along with Simon Sykes, will go off to England and be fitted into specially prepared Formula Ford race cars for 2 of the biggest Formula Ford races on the planet. Tremendously exciting program for those young drivers. potentially a big boost toward a professional career. So good luck to Simon Sykes then and now.
As the field starts to spread out just a little bit here, as you got Brandon Dixon in there. Brandon is one of the drivers on those Hoosiers. They are a much slower emerging tire. The Avons and Cabillons are going to come on hot early, so he's hoping to just sort of stay in the mix, maybe make a late charge. But out in the front, with Sykes just putting the pressure on Armington. Aller fell back a little bit early, but we know Aller's got that pace based on qualifying. We'll see if he's able to show that here on laps 2 and 3.
Around to complete lap 1 of 13, or a 40-minute time limit.
So that battle there in between Dixon and Verisons. Dixon is a two-time winner at the runoffs, last most recently F1000 here at Road America. The other is Michael Verisons, 7 times a gold medalist in Formula V. He dominated in Formula V, which is close racing is at the core of Formula V. Just absolutely just the heart of what it means to win close races. And Verison's now in his second year running here in the FC class, finally starting to come into his own with a much more powerful and a little bit of aero with these. We'll see what kind of mark he can make in this race.
Field beginning to string out just a bit. This is turn 5, where Larry predicted the sun will be right in the visors of these drivers. So they rely on muscle memory. Count to 7 and turn left.
That's pretty much it. Yep. They say they get a little bit of shade from the bridge, but as soon as you think you need to turn in right after the bridge, you're just staring right into God's flashlight.
See dark visors on every helmet.
Already Aller's trap speed on this lap, 139 miles an hour. Everyone else quite a bit slower, only Paul Moreno up in that range, but your leaders 133, 135. Tells you Aller's got those wings trimmed pretty slim for this Road America circuit.
A small, tightly confined chassis like that is hauling the mail.
It certainly is. But as you'd expect with some maybe tighter wings, Armington is quickest of all in Sector 2, which is where all those wiggly bits are. Sector 2 carrying it all the way from the braking point going into 5, all the way past the kink.
Look at John Norton running in 6th place. The hill they go. Just suddenly seems to have turned to late afternoon here. It was bright sunshine just a while ago, and there is still some out there. And suddenly it definitely feels like late afternoon.
It's gotten colder as the day went on. I think when we got to here to the track at about 7 o'clock this morning, it was probably 5 degrees warmer than it is now. It just kind of just keeps cooling and cooling and cooling. And you know, some of these drivers were taking pavement temps, just hoping that it would hold and that it wasn't going to get any colder. And the way this day has gone, they just kept hoping. Where this part of the track is much colder, you can see the trees just shadowing it. Probably makes this braking point, as it's already downhill, probably makes it even more treacherous for them going here into 5.
Using that pavement runoff, which is just fine, but you have to make sure you're back on the pavement inside the white line before you get to the dirt, because then it gets really rough really quickly.
Yeah, and this place is just not forgiving when you get up onto those curves.
So Robert Armington doing what he has to do to complete the super sweep and pick up the gold medal in FC. Win the race. Right now he leads by just about 1 second. Simon Sykes and then Robert Aller. The chassis are a Van Diemen RF00, a Citation US 2000, and a Van Diemen RF02. I mentioned that the Van Diemens, a company that no longer exists after being absorbed by Elan Technologies in the United States. Van Diemen was a British company who made a dominating chassis for several decades. The company was founded, and I didn't know this before I started researching the weekend, by Ross Ambrose and Ralph Furman Sr. Ralph Furman Sr. I knew. He had a couple of offspring that became really strong racing drivers themselves. But Ross Ambrose is the father of Marcus Ambrose, who raced in NASCAR with distinction for a number of years and is now back in the Antipodes, hopefully enjoying the fruits of his long career. But Van Diemen used to be known as Van Diemen's Land before it became Tasmania. That's what they decided to call their company.
Well, watching that Van Diemen of Rob Aller right now, he is inching closer as he picked up a couple of tenths on, he picked up about 4 tenths on Sykes, and he picked up 8 tenths on Armington, and now he's about a second behind Sykes as they started this lap, and he's starting to feel the draft pulling him in as this battle is also shaping up behind them. As that looks like the 14 Marino getting around the 02 of John Norton. And Aller on this lap alone just took another 4 tenths out of Armington and another 3 tenths out of Sykes as he is closing quickly. We're about to see all 3 cars probably coming down into Canada and onto that front straight at the same time.
Well, he's got to win the race to have any shot at that super sweep, but he also needs Robert Armington to finish 7th or worse. So it could be a big ask on this day, given the way Armington is running.
Armington strong, and Simon Sykes right in there. Had that strong start, but he has settled into his own groove. Those tires now are coming in strong as each of these drivers are personal best in every sector.
Is that smoke out of the back of the 52, or was it tire smoke? Robert Aller. Let's see if we see it again.
Oh, little puffs there.
Could be an oil overfill or a little bodywork rub on a tire or the ground.
But look how close he is now.
Yeah.
About 4 tenths behind Sykes. They're essentially now right in that draft. Now he's just going to pick his spot. How long does he want to sit back there?
Turn 3 and on to the back stretch behind the pits. While this battle continues. Position change coming in turn 3. Yes.
I suspect these guys are not done. Keep swapping spots. And there you go. Aller's already gotten by Sykes, but that's tire lock up there.
Yeah.
So he's gotten one spot. Now he's got Armington on the sights. Well, whatever sights he has going into the sunlight there coming up under the Corvette Bridge.
Somewhere out there in that thermonuclear explosion is my rival.
Sykes is not done. He wants that spot back. A young man running in the Pro F1600 series, doing very well in that as well. Mentioned him about the opportunities that he's getting. Well deserved. Oh, looks like we've had a coming together here between these two that have been racing so well, Marino and Norton, as they look like they're at the exit road there at 5.
Let's see. I mentioned contact can mean disaster. And that's what it did. Boy, the suspension just folded up.
God, they've been racing so well, the two of those.
Yeah. Back to the lead. Armington, Aller, and Sykes.
Let's see how patient the young Sykes can be here. If he's just going to follow Aller. Armington looks strong, though. Just did his personal best lap, including setting the overall best second sector, which is the twisty bits again, knowing that what's going on behind him, he felt an opportunity to just continue to lay one down. As the tires, I think, right here on this lap 6 of this race are really coming in. And again, so what happened in qualifying this week is this class, along with the Formula Atlantics and the Formula X, which are essentially a lot of the Formula Mazda cars and similar cars to these as well, all qualified in the same session. You had about 40-some cars on the track, so some of these guys didn't really get clear traffic to lay down the lap that they wanted, or maybe some of them got a tow and showed different speeds than maybe they were truly capable of. So this is really their first chance to get clear traffic, to get a real feel for each other. They just haven't had that chance. And even talking to Robbie Armington, he had registered for the June sprints to come up in these parts, and Rob Aller from the Detroit area was not able to make it. Had an unfortunate death in the family, who had to cancel his plans to come here. So Robert Armington didn't get a chance to race with Rob. This is his first chance really be able to see him side by side. So this is really it. Sometimes you like to get a chance, feel somebody out, know their strengths and weaknesses, but it's going to come down to the next 7 laps to figure it all out.
These three are off in a race of their own, about 6 minutes up the road from 4th place Michael Varysons.
Varysons and Dixon are definitely having their own race back there.
Varysons, the most decorated driver in the field. 7 gold, 3 silver, and 1 bronze medal in competition here at the Runoffs. Most recently at Sonoma Raceway in California in 2018 in the Formula V class.
In fact, he was just inducted into the Formula V Hall of Fame earlier this week in their ceremony that they had. His success is there, just a huge contribution to that. He's just a legend in the Formula V ranks around these parts. You know, that's just a great class right there at the core of what it means for the SCCA, for the Runoffs. He's been a huge part of that. He felt he needed a new challenge, and he certainly has one here in the Formula Continental ranks.
Bright sunshine on the front stretch. Start-finish, highest point on this racetrack. They'll descend about 170 feet by the time they get back to the kink. Somebody's bodywork scraping on the ground.
Gotta run it low for the aero to work good, right? All the way around, you can just hear that little chirp, chirp, chirp.
Down the backstretch from bright sunshine into the shadow, working lap 7 of 13. We're at the halfway point for Formula Continental here at the Runoffs. Today's broadcast of the SCCA Runoffs is brought to you by Mazda. Feel alive.
When the finish line calls, we answer. Hit the road with insurance protection from Hagerty. Whether you drive a built racer, sports car, or exotic, and save an average of $264. Get a quote today at Hagerty.com.
It's happening more often, and that's not surprising. People are getting lost to find themselves. And discovering the best part is often hidden in the journey along the way. The first ever CX-30. Performance that inspires with available iActive all-wheel drive.
Back at Road America, dark shadow leading to bright sunshine, I should say. You haven't missed anything as we continue to work lap 7 here at the Runoffs in the Formula Continental class. 6 laps to go when they reach the flag stand.
Each of these three keep turning in their fastest lap. With every lap they turn, Armington again resets the twisty bit sector that I keep watching for there, that sector 2. But Aller is not going anywhere. Both of them just did 2-minute 13.6s. Oh, and that.
Someone has pulled off, or he's hung up on the curb.
He's definitely high-centered.
You can definitely see how tall the curbing is. We've talked about it all weekend. Some of these cars cannot handle it.
We were just talking about the bodywork rubbing the ground, how low they run them, and that's, you go a little sideways to get to a curb. So with that car where it's stranded, likely in turn 6, that's going to be a pretty precarious. That's where these leaders are coming, as you can see Aller right on the back of them. There should be a flag. They're coming to see just off to their right.
There it is.
So now I wonder with that stranded vehicle, they're going to have to come out and fetch that vehicle, and he's right at the apex.
Yeah, you can't leave him there. Oh, Armington going way wide.
He did. It's one of the first mistakes we've seen him make. Fowler's just got to be licking his chops at that. That's one for the notebook right there. It's okay. Coming out of 8. Maybe for the next time. I'm sure Simon Sykes saw that as well.
Coming down to Canada corner.
Oh, here
Fowler looks down the inside, used all of the brakes, but couldn't get it done. And Sykes is now right there on his gearbox, looking for a way around.
I suspect you get up in the back of one of these with these kind of aero cars, you might lose a little bit of grip on that front end. You kind of get in that wash of the car. That's why they're kind of leaving a little bit of space. So you want the draft when you get into the corners like turn 1s, turn 3. You need a little bit, but Sykes, that's drafting.
He's going for it.
Coming out of the Formula F side, he knows what the draft is all about.
He's got to tuck in behind again. Only Allard darts to the inside now. And both of them slide on by Armington.
Is Armington slowing? Or is he
No.
just resetting?
Just maybe got freight trained there. That looked too easy.
Yeah. Okay. I worried there a little bit for a second when he kind of pulled off to the right. They're exiting 1, but he's back in line. Maybe he just missed a downshift or something, but he looks right in line. Plenty of laps here to stay back in. Now it's Aller's got to be the first one through to go through the blind left-hander with the car on the apex.
Well, it looks like they've got a rope on it. They're going to tow it off from the grass side, which is smart.
Armington's definitely fading back, though.
Yes.
I wonder if he felt something under braking a little bit. Got ourselves a 2-horse race here.
It appears that way.
And he's out of the shot entirely there.
Yeah.
He may have pulled off at the carousel.
Which takes us back to that easy pass.
Yep, there he is.
It was on a straightaway, so he wouldn't have missed it. He wouldn't have been downshifting, I would
No,
think.
what if he felt something under braking?
Yeah. Well, that's a pity.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Something would have to have broken. He's looking. Oh, and he is unhappy. Rightly so. He was looking at the back of the car. Maybe the right rear suspension? I couldn't tell.
Yeah. Well, we saw him go wide there at 8. And that was only about a half a lap before he came into that turn 1. And maybe a couple of corners later just felt something. So now we got to see, does Sykes have anything to challenge Aller?
Armington loses his shot at the super sweep. He'll have to content himself with a couple of championships and a bunch of race victories.
Which is what we're saying Aller kind of needed.
Absolutely.
It's not over yet.
So if Aller can win the race, now that Armington is out of it, who's number 7? Kevin Fendazzi.
Should be Brandon Dixon there in that number 7.
Oh,
I
I'm
think.
sorry.
He runs also the Pro Series in the USF 2000. In fact, he's won the championship there, I think, a couple of times. He's one of our drivers running on the Hoosier tires here. So I talked to him. He said, that's what the spec tire is in the Pro Series. That's what he was loyal to. Wanted to make sure he ran them here in the runoffs. Just wanted to see what he could do. Maybe have a shot at a podium. I think he had started the field here up on the 3rd spot on the grid. Was hoping to get there. And right now, with a couple laps to go, he's in that spot.
Looks lonely.
Sure does. to find is the rest of the field here with Michael Verisons in that third spot. There is Brian Tomasi. Also a former winner in this class. A couple of championships, one back here in 2010 here at Road America. Out of the Chicago region.
Illinois, site of one of the very first motor races in the United States, and the world for that matter. It's got to be right in the driver's eyes, the bright setting sun.
Makes for great shots here on camera, though, doesn't it? Certain angles.
Yeah. Wing is kind of a tilt. The rear wing, low on the right side.
A little bit.
Through the canyon, down to Canada Corner.
Kevin Fendozzi there.
Also out there somewhere.
Yep. Fendozzi actually was a former champ in a touring class, T3, back at Road America here in 2012. So switched over to the Formula Car ranks. Also used to run an A sedan. So switching up from about the other end of the spectrum when it comes to that the traction and weight scenario, to go to a Formula Car with wings from a large car with tiny tires. So challenging himself a little bit.
Sure, showing you can do it all. From St. Joseph, Michigan, running out of the Detroit region, into Mygale. You can hear the revs, the engine working to haul that car uphill down to 14, and then the really steep part of it.
Then Greenhill there, doing everything he can to stay off of these curbs.
So where is Sykes?
He's just outside the shot, I think.
2 seconds behind last time by.
Just losing a little bit of pace, just sector by sector, as Aller continues to turn 213s. And Sykes just not able to maintain that pace. Fast, but not fast enough. With about 8 miles to go.
The gap is 3 seconds now, as Aller just lays down one 213 lap after another, off by just a 10th on that last lap from the previous one. That kind of consistency wins races.
Yeah. Don't lift, don't back off, just keep your head down and just keep going until you see a checker flag. And Sykes, for this young man, had a great race earlier and finishing up on a podium in Formula F. He's doing everything he can to try and chase down Aller. I'm sure he wants a top step in this one, but if he could just make it through about another 6 miles, he'll have himself a podium in FC as well.
Curbs are race car free.
They're race car free, but they have claimed their share of victims this weekend.
They have indeed, and will do so between now and the end of the day tomorrow. We'll wrap up these 2020 runoffs. Here's a good look at Sykes.
It's got to be an incredible feeling in a downforce car to go around carousel here.
If he holds position, it'll be the second medal, I think, I'm right in saying, for young Mr. Sykes.
Yep, was Formula F earlier. Here is his rookie appearance, his first ever appearance at the runoffs. He's still got to go another, what about four and a half miles? So at this point, late in the day, Not over till she sings, but she's warming up.
Aller has driven a terrific race to be a worthy champion if he's still in this position 4 miles from now. White flag. And the gap is shown at 5.1 seconds. Collier is not letting up. And guess what his lap time was?
Another 2:13. He just keeps doing it consistently lap after lap. And Sykes is just at this point saying, all right, fine. He's kind of waving the white flag of his own at this point.
Kill him with consistency.
But Michael Verison's, though, pretty good run for him right now. Coming across with a lap to go, sitting in that third spot, started down in fifth. Like I said, he's had a bit of a struggle to make the jump from Formula V into the Formula Continental ranks. VIR last year just was unable to get the car to run how he wanted to. And if he's able to get through and get up here on the podium in this will be a big sigh of relief for him, as he really wants to build and to try and make a new trend here for himself in FC. We'll see if he can hang on to it.
He would also pick up his 12th medal in runoffs competition in 19 starts. That's a pretty good hit ratio.
That's a pretty strong success right there. Which means the rest of the field knows when you see Michael Verison's entered, you know you're getting a strong A-level effort. It's a deep field. 5 former champions in this 13 cars. But they can only give 3 medals.
That's part of the charm and the challenge of the runoffs. Medals to the top 3. Everybody else gets a bratwurst.
But they're so good. The brats are so good here.
Well, I didn't say it was any kind of a loss. It was just looking easy, riding in style over on the right-hand side of the road. Big celebration starts, hundreds of yards short of the finish line. Robert Aller is your 2020 Formula Continental National Champion. Simon Sykes comes across in second place, a great run for the young driver. And in third place, Michael Verison. Well done. This is Brandon Dixon holding fourth place as he comes up and over.
So for Aller, this has to be a little bit of redemption for him, because last year put it on the pole at VAR in just dominant fashion, was running away with that race when the motor just completely exploded right at the top of the hill before the roller coaster. He was a bit dejected. He was on a mission to come back here and do this. So he faded back for just the first couple of corners in this race, got back on the mission, got by Sykes, got by Armington, put his head down, and just like we said so consistently, 2:13s after 2:13s, and only did a 2:14 on his last lap. Only, I should say. Nobody else was even in the 15s there at the end.
Yeah, well, no point in stressing it. I'm sure he had memories of that engine meltdown. I think maybe I'll take a few more tenths off of this.
But yeah, well deserved though.
Yeah, and you saw Sykes pull alongside and tell him, you the man. And boy, talk about redemption. He comes back and gets exactly what he needed to take the super sweep.
He did.
So job well done to Robert Aller.
Great race for him. Great race for Sykes. That young man has got a strong, strong future in front of him. Showing it he can do it with wings. He can do it without wings. He can do it in traffic. He can do it. He can play the long game. A couple of podiums right here for this young man here at his first runoffs.
And that Team USA program, look it up if you're not familiar with it. It has done a great job of helping talented youngsters get their careers started in various levels of motorsport. From Jimmy Vasser, Champ Car champion, who was one of the very first scholarship honorees 30 years ago. And you'd know some of the other names, Connor Daly and Spencer Piggott and Joseph Newgarden, a two-time IndyCar champion. The list goes on and on. Jeremy Shaw, don't pick no turnips to be a part of that program. They go off and run the two big Formula Ford races, the Festival and the Walter Hayes Trophy race. Good luck to him. Do us proud.
He's a great young kid, too. He really is. And the excitement in his eyes yesterday when I talked to him about just being here and soaking in this environment, just happy to be a part of this. And you can see that joy comes through with these kind of races. And I just can't wait to hear from him here again on this podium.
That little green smiley face on the nose of the car stayed with him the whole way. I think I heard him say, "Oh my goodness."
There's a smile in there for sure.
Just look at the dimensions of that chassis and think about going 140 miles an hour in it.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a special kind of courage, even if you're the only guy on the track.
That downhill braking into 5 is so intimidating.
Many years ago, I called an IndyCar race here, and we had the great Trans Am champion Tommy Kendall joining our broadcast crew. And somebody had the bright idea, let's put him on his own scaffold down there at turn 5. And, you know, we can throw to him, and he can tell us what it's like as the cars sweep by under his feet. And we had the most almighty crash. I think 2 or 3 cars stacked up. I think one of them might have been Brian Herta. One of them was Dan Gurney's cars, possibly with P.J. Jones, and I can't remember the third one, but it's worth looking up. It was a pretty tasty wreck. Well, let's get down and hear from the man of the moment, Robert Aller with Hayward.
Robert, it's been a little while since we've been able to see you in victory lane here on the top podium. How does it feel to come back and win it here at Road America?
It's actually been 6 years and like 7 days or something. I was counting. Yeah, no, it's unbelievable. I told someone today how hard it is to win this race. You got to be fast. You got to be lucky. These guys, I mean, this group that I'm racing with, I honest to God never thought there was a chance of me winning this race. And this car is unbelievable. LTD Motorsports, best team in FC, no doubt. Like I always say, my buddies are going to laugh at me. A trained monkey could drive this car fast. So, unbelievable.
You said at the beginning of the race that you were really hoping that this one would be boring. It doesn't look like it was boring to me.
No, it wasn't boring, and I don't know what happened to Bob Armington, but he was going to be tough. It looked like I had a little bit of straight line speed on him, so I was just biding my time, staying behind him, staying close, and I thought maybe him and I could run away from Simon, and it looked like we did, and then all of a sudden he just kind of dropped off. Once I passed him, he just fell off. I don't know what happened to him, but he's wicked fast. All these guys are just unbelievable. This group, I can't believe I'm here.
Well, congratulations on the win. Enjoy the victory lap, and we'll see you at the podium.
I'm sure it's a lap that he's going to enjoy.
Absolutely. You could just see that relief. You knew exactly how many days it was since his championship with Laguna Seca years ago, and how steep that hill is to climb to get back up to the top.
And I'm sure he's doing all the mental gymnastics driving along. Okay, where's Armington? If he's dropping back, how many places? Where am I? What kind of lap times am I doing? What are the guys behind me doing? Who's that kid in my mirrors?
Absolutely. Yeah.
But he's right. It's a beautifully turned out car.
Yeah.
And as he gets set to launch on his lap of honor, let's go back to Hayward.
Simon, a lot of drivers here at the Runoffs hope to get back to the podium the next year or maybe again in their lives. Welcome back for the second time today. Congratulations on the silver.
Really appreciate it. It was a great race, honestly. We had some good fun out there. I got out to a good start, went from 4th to 2nd on the start. Alir dropped back, but he came back with some serious pace. And we had a good battle at the top 3, and then Alir got by, got into P1. I was chasing him down, and had a part my suspension snapped halfway through the race, and I probably wouldn't have touched Alir. I wanted to give him a little bit of a battle, but at that point it was just getting to the finish.
Well, congratulations on getting here and taking the silver. We'll get you over to the podium and bring up our third place finisher.
Thank
So
you.
Come on through. And if we get our third place finisher, you can bring her. Yeah, come on up. Michael Verisons, the Runoffs podium is a very familiar spot for you. This is the first time in the new class, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
How does it feel to now be a bronze medalist in Formula Continental?
Oh, it's awesome. After all the podiums that we had in Formula V, I wasn't sure what it was going to take to get up on the podium in Continental, and that was kind of the goal this year. I know we weren't really quite quick enough yet to probably win this thing, so the best we could hope for was a podium. When we started the year out, that was the goal, was to get on the podium. So we got a little luck involved, but there's a lot of luck involved in racing. So I'll take it any way we can get it, and yeah, it was good. It was just an enormous amount of work all winter to get to this point, and I had a good cheering crew this time, right? Come on, Zoe, look, say hi. So I couldn't let her down, so we did it, and it's just absolutely awesome.
Well, my only question, Michael, is do you think you're going to get that medal back, or is she going to keep it?
I don't know. She looks pretty attached to it, so I think it might be hers.
Well, congratulations to you and the family. A great finish here at the Runoffs.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, that's a neat 3 stories from our 3 podium finishers, including Simon Sykes coming home with a broken suspension.
That's amazing to limp a car home to a silver medal like that when he says, halfway through the race something broke and still be able to drive as fast as he did. That's off to him.
Top 10 unofficially: Aller, Sykes, Varison, then Brandon Dixon, Brian Tomasi, Kevin Fandazzi, Lynn Greenhill, Jeffrey Pietz, Robert Armington. Oh my goodness, what might have been. And Paul Marino. Celebrating the super sweep as well as the gold medal. A big burden lifted off to the shoulders of Robert Aller. Here's how the race went down. Aller and Armington crossed the front row. The skirmish began. Armington, the early leader. Aller and Sykes in that order, and they pretty much dominated the top 3 positions the entire race. This was the most dramatic incident down in turn 5. Where contact led to broken suspensions and 2 cars out of the race. Then problems for Armington meant that Aller and Sykes went by into an uncontested first and second place. In the end, Robert Aller came home to pick up the super sweep. First championship in a long time. Big sigh of relief coming from that race car. Congratulations to all of our top finishers. Great stories make for a great race. And Robert Aller, a very deserving 2020 Runoffs Formula Continental champion.